people know how old you are? Or do you not talk about it?
It's too depressing.
Okay.
I'm halfway to death.
Big 21, which is why we're drinking wine.
I'm 40!
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Talon and I make new videos every single week. I'm out here today for this guy's birthday. Happy birthday, old man.
Hey, I am old.
Does this one feel different?
Feels the same, but I'm extra depressed for some reason.
We'll hopefully change that. We got some food to cook up. Even got a bottle of wine. Big wine guys on this trip. Guys. We're doing a joint 4th gen Tacoma trip. Both of our trucks look crazy. We're actually on a trail that we did this maybe 2 years ago for Mike's birthday, and we're running it in the reverse way that we did in that video. Previously we had our 3rd gen Tacomas, and now we're just like recreating it with these, so should be pretty fun. Twinsies. I don't really have a theme for this video other than it's Mike's birthday, but I'm thinking in my head right now, my Tacoma is, I think, coming up on a year old at this point, and I just did some major changes to my Tundra, which I've had a little bit longer. So this trail, as you can kind of see, I mean, we're like right at the start of it. It is super rocky with these like annoying rocks. It's not like cool obstacles to climb over. It's just a giant boulder field basically all the way up this mountain. So it's going to be a little jarring on the trucks. I think I'm going to use this trip as a way to kind of shake the Tacoma down and figure out what I want to do to it next, whether it's some suspension. I love the factory suspension on here, but after switching out my Tundra to some new Fox setups, I think that same kit on this truck would be amazing. So maybe something like that. Definitely need a little bit more armor. I've been running the C4 Low Pro for a while now, as well as their sliders, but no skids yet, no rear bumper on this truck, but they do have compatible stuff for the 4th gen hybrids, so that should be coming in the near future. And then as for the setup back here, I'll show you guys some more of this when we get to camp. It's pretty dialed, pretty similar to the last trip that you guys may have seen me take this truck on, but the off-roading and like off-road performance aspect of things, that's what I'm gonna be thinking about a lot as we make our way up this mountain. Well, we've made it to a camp spot. Any further up this road and we'd have to go over an obstacle that you may have seen in a previous video. Going over that in the reverse way that we came over it before would be risky for kind of no reason. I think this is a better camp spot than what we found at the top, but it's a pretty good one.
This is like the best one of the trail, honestly.
One of the only ones too, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a few like random little pull-offs, but I think this one's like, it's pretty flat, has good views, a good hang area, shade, got everything the body needs. Rondo.
What you need for your birthday. So this is the view out here. Pretty beautiful views of surrounding mountains and things like that. And then just below us, down there is the lake and I-70. Typically, I don't like camping where you can hear highway noise and stuff, but it's kind of cool just because we were so high up. We started way down there and it was just switchbacks all the way up to here. I think it's time for Mike's birthday drink.
Wine time, baby.
Here's a cool product, Pelican 14. Mike actually gave me this like years ago. I still got it. Thanks, bro. California Dream. Cabernet Sauvignon. Do you have preferred cups? We got these little guys. They're orange because you know they gotta be.
Fancy. Cheers, mates. That's nice.
Now, as far as my setup goes, again, looks pretty similar to how it looked the last time you saw it, but 4x4 Colorado Alto Mini on here. Still enjoying this tent, ton of storage in there, so I got everything that I need in the tent and I don't have to pack it in the back. Over here I've got a Roam case behind here that I keep my chair and paper towels and stuff like that in, and then my whole kitchen box here. A lot of people have asked me about this in the past and I haven't really talked about it, but I made this with some laser cut panels here, all kinds of storage, single burner, cutting board and things like that, and then storage for spices and everything on the top. But I actually plan on switching this out. I want like a proper kitchen setup, and I'm just kind of waiting for that thing to kind of happen, and as well as a fridge setup. I'm actually waiting on a new fridge. I don't like moving my Iceco from my Tundra to the Tacoma all the time, so I kind of want to have redundancies of everything. So I'm getting a new Iceco which will fit in the back of the truck over here. I of course have my 63 Industries cargo system in here. So the fridge will sit on this side, and then on the other side I got my anchor strap down, which of course is fed by solar from the top of the tent here. And Starlink's plugged into that. This little jackery, I typically leave it in my tent because it does fit, but I had this in my Tundra on the last trip, so this needs to go back into the tent. So the whole setup is pretty simple, and there are some more things that I want to dial in as far as like camp stuff goes. And also, I didn't even talk about the trail coming up here, but it was very rocky, as you saw. It was one of those trails where I kind of wish I had like a film crew with me so I wouldn't have to jump out and do everything myself, but Mike and I have been pretty good at like filming ourselves doing stuff for a while. There was a lot of stuff that you guys didn't really see, but I was taking mental notes, and there are definitely some things that I want to do to this truck, which will hopefully happen pretty soon. Like I said, the truck is about a year old now, and it's time to take things up a notch. Just a little bit, nothing crazy, and we'll cross that bridge in a little bit, I guess. Time to chill, relax. We'll get the fire going and then cook some dinners. Steak dinner for Mike's birthday.
All right, Chef Talon.
All right. There we go. Mike and I have been sitting around drinking his birthday wine, and we didn't even realize how late it's getting. It's past 8 o'clock, so we got to cook before we lose daylight. We are getting close to the longest day of the year, which is nice. And
it's so depressing. My birthday, and then the days start getting shorter.
Yeah, mine too. People know how old you are? Or do you not talk about it?
It's too depressing.
Okay.
No, some people know.
Mike's had a milestone birthday, we'll just say that.
I'm halfway to the end of my life. I'm halfway to death.
Big 21, which is why we're drinking wine.
I'm 40.
Big 40.
My birthday, so we got no vegetables. Only meat.
0 vegetables. We have 2 nice looking New York strips, and then we got like half a pound of shrimp with some hibachi seasoning on them. I think I could fit both steaks in here, but we'll just do one at a time. Just play it safe. Here's a little more in-depth look at the whole kitchen setup. I wasn't gonna show this because I was gonna like make them and make them available to you guys, but I don't know if that's happening at this point. So the burner here can actually sit down recessed here, but I kind of like cooking with it on top just so it's a little bit elevated for the heat. I keep the gas under this panel here, bowls, cups, plates, pan, all collapsible stuff that stays under the cutting board. And then I have a bunch of cleaning products over here.
Did you get this thing made?
Yeah, laser cut those, designed it, the case in CAD, and then made those basically. And then some panels with utensils, first aid, can opener, more knives, spices, and trash bags, things like that. It's pretty cool, and I like it, but it's not good enough where I would be comfortable selling it. So that's where we're at on all of this. There's the meal. We've already crushed almost both of the steaks. And that hibachi seasoning,
Dude, like, the steak was good, but the shrimp is, as the kids say, fire.
Fire.
They used to say anyway.
They got a little snap to them.
Yeah, they've got a little spice. Yeah. Like, they're good. Already detailed.
Can never go wrong with a little surf and turf. I think we cooked those like perfectly.
Dude, yeah, we did.
I brought the Howl R1 because this thing is super easy to bring everywhere. And this is the first time I'm doing this, but I'm running it off of a tiny little 5-pound propane tank. I think for a one-nighter, this is going to be plenty of fuel for it.
This probably costs like $3 to fill up.
Yeah, it costs next to nothing. We're just going to let this thing rock all night while we're talking and hanging out, and we'll see how long it lasts. I mean, that thing is still like full, and it's been running for...
Is this on full blast? Or is that like half?
It's not full. We can turn it full. Yeah, this little thing rips. That's only a 5 PSI regulator too.
Yeah, I feel like that's good. That's good.
We'll crank it up if it gets colder. We almost made it till midnight.
I mean, this is like late for us, like a camping trip.
It is. We could make it to midnight. We can keep talking, but we're adults. We got stuff to do tomorrow.
Yeah, it's good.
5-pounder.
Good. It's iced over.
It's super iced over. I think it'd still run for an hour or so, but definitely good for just an overnighter. All right, dude, I'll see you in the morning. Tonight might be a windows open kind of night. I think it's going down to about 50 at the town below us, but we're up at like 10,100 feet in elevation, so might get down to like 40 tonight. I think I'll start with the windows open and zip them up in a little bit if it gets cold. Now, all the thoughts that I've been gathering on the truck today of future modifications that I want to do, I'm going to save those for tomorrow morning once we get down off of this mountain and we're airing up. But one that I'm thinking about right now is my tent. I'm really enjoying the 4x4 Colorado Alto Mini. Tons of space in here. I always talk about the storage and everything, and storage in a rooftop tent is pretty big for me because I hate having pillows and blankets and stuff elsewhere. I think I would be kind of happy running this tent for a while now, but as you guys know, I've been testing out a bunch of different setups, so I'm going to turn this one into a question for you guys. Is there any tent that would fit on a short bed Tacoma that you guys want to see me test out, like really bad? You want to know my thoughts on it? Because if there's no good recommendations of other things to kind of test out, this tent might just stay on my truck for this summer. The summer camping season in Colorado is obviously a little short I mean, it is the middle of June right now, and we're like slowly getting nice nights like this when you're up in high elevation. So I would be open to testing something else, but this is a really nice tent. It's got solar, tons of storage, really big. I actually haven't even slept in here with Ashley yet, but we could totally do 2 people and our dog. It'd be no problem at all. So right now I'm kind of leaning towards maybe just running this thing all summer. But if you guys have recommendations, something you want to know my thoughts on, let me know. Because I don't like changing anything that's still working for me. If it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of mentality. So that's all for now. I will check in with you guys in the morning. Hopefully weather is beautiful and we can bounce our way down the mountain, down this super rocky, kind of treacherous trail. I'll talk to you in the morning. Wait. Need a little bit more that way, like a tiny bit. You don't have the wide fender, so you're good. You bonked the tree a little bit, but it was fine. Well, good morning, everyone. We are making our way down here slowly. I aired down my Firestone Destination MT2s to 15 PSI, which is lower than I would typically go because I'm not running a B-lock wheel, but 15 is still basically in that safe zone as long as you're not putting your tires in bad places where they probably shouldn't be. I'm pretty sure the other year that we ran this going down this way, none of us aired down at all because coming up the backside is a little bit easier, and it was brutal by the end of it. But 15 PSI, it's still a little bouncy and everything, but it definitely makes the drive much, much better. Now, thinking about all of the things that I want to change on this truck, first one that comes to mind is ground clearance. I'm still at a factory height with this truck, and there's nothing like too bad out on this trail. I'm glad I went with the offset of wheel that I did. I believe I'm running positive 25s on here because there are some really tight boulders here, and unless you're gonna just drive right over top of them, you need a pretty slim vehicle to pass through. This Tacoma obviously is very wide as far as like the body goes because of the extra fender flares and things like that, but I didn't have an issue coming up, so going down shouldn't raise any concerns either. I'm watching Mike's truck behind me. He's on 37s with like some wild suspension kit, and I can almost guarantee you those 37s feel a lot more comfortable than this. So if I was running a tire like that, I would have a little bit more ground clearance. I wouldn't have to go quite as cautiously over some of these rocks. And also, you wouldn't really need to air down quite as much either because the tire's bigger and it'll just roll over all this stuff. The next thing that comes to mind is armor. Kind of same as before, as long as you pick good lines and have your tires in the right position, The amount of armor that I have on here is fine. It's just a low pro front from C4 and then some sliders. I did just kind of dislodge a rock from the trail and it shot up underneath the truck. I have like a tiny little engine skid that basically connects from the front of the low pro back a little bit. And I think the rock must have hit my cross member because there was no damage or anything, but it sounded gnarly. And once we get into even harder trails this summer, I'm definitely going to want full armor. We're talking direct replacement rear, maybe even change out my low pro for a full high clearance front on this truck. Sliders are great. I've already tagged them a few times, but I also need skids. Skids would be great for, honestly, for obstacles like this right here on the left. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but if you position your tires properly, you could just kind of skate through that, avoiding this rock. But if you wanted to go over that, I would definitely want a rear bumper because you're probably going to come down on that. Skids for the jagged rocks in the middle and sliders on the outside just in case. A high clearance front may also sort of negate a little bit of the need for taller suspension, whether it's a lift or larger tires. So there's a lot of different combinations that I could go with to kind of make things work the way I want them to. I was just checking out some photos last night and I realized that this truck is not even 1 year old yet. So it's already come quite a long way. The beginning of July last year is when I picked this truck up, and it looks crazy because of the wrap and some of the things that I bolted on, like the sharper racks and nice wheels and tires and everything. But outside of that, there's still nothing really that crazy going on with this truck yet. But we will be changing that. Yeah. All right, we're at probably the sketchier part of this trail. Honestly, doesn't look too bad, but the consequences are pretty much death, however you look at it. And like, yeah, scratches for sure. So there's like a little rock slide here and it's pretty off camber. Camera doesn't do justice, but you're kind of leaning over into these boulders on this side. It's super tight with those rocks there, so you either drive over them or try to drive around them, but sure looks cool up here. I'll stand right here, so if you roll, you can take me with you.
Okay.
Wait, back up. Go a little more driver so you don't pinch your tire. Oh my gosh. All right, my turn for the sketchiness. Mike has no cameras on his truck, which would make it even sketchier, but I have the 360 cameras and multi-terrain monitoring, so I can actually see my tire placement no matter where it's at. Leaning at like a 25, 27 degree angle here. Felt scarier going the other way because you're leaning with your window facing the death drop. You got them wide boy stance tires.
Here. Do you mind if you get a scratch on your wheel, or?
Nah, they're made to get scratched.
I think you'll be fine.
All right, way sketchier going the other way on that. Just looking at your death out the window. Well, I just made a mistake, not on video, but as we were getting back in our trucks after that obstacle and stuff, I completely missed the giant boulder in the middle of the trail in front of me. So when Mike started going, I just started going on what looked like a smooth section of the trail. And before I could even hit my brakes, my tire popped up probably 2 feet over the rock. And as I'm hitting the brakes, it came down over the rock and I just slammed so hard on my sliders. If I didn't have sliders, 100% would have been body damage. And I may have broken something underneath that's not super important, but I did inspect things a little bit and we'll just check it out a little bit more once we get down off of this trail. Kind of on the home stretch now, so I just gotta wake up a little bit. Flying over that rock definitely woke me up a little though. All right, time for a little damage report. hopefully none, but that was kind of gnarly. So I'm happy to report the truck is still in alignment after going over that rock kind of accidentally. Everything under here still looks pretty good. There's that little engine skid that I was talking about. And then just past my front tire, busted out that plastic piece there. No big deal. A couple of pieces that I will take with me. So I definitely landed on basically like the body mount there, and then the slider. Definitely chewed this thing up all the way back, but that's why you have armor. I think the trailing arm and everything looks fine. I tagged my mount a little bit there, and then I did hit the ARB tow hook here, but everything's straight, and I think we're good to drive home. Now for airing up, I haven't really showed this much, but I did show it in some videos before. This right here is a kind of hidden compressor mount from CA Tuned. So I have an ARB twin behind here. The port right here works perfectly with the single hose that comes with the ARB kit. There's then a switch right here. And then I run that single hose into this little guy that I got on Amazon, and it works pretty well. About 5-10 minutes later, and we're up to 37 PSI all around. Now I've used a lot of like air up and air down methods. A 4-hose system like Mike is using right there, it's definitely nice, and I actually have the room in this truck now where I could bring my faster flake kit, which I do like a lot. But at the same time, a single hose like this is really easy, and also the wheels that I have need a tiny little connection like this. So because of my style of wheel, I need a small connection like this. This thing isn't the greatest because you do have to hold it, or you could wrap something like this around it and walk away, but gets the job done. Now we're ready to drive home. So next up for the 4th gen TRD Pro Tacoma, maybe bigger tires. I mean, the 37s look so proper. Definitely need to cut and trim a little more, but it's doable. Definitely more armor, maybe high clearance chop, definitely skids, maybe suspension. I don't think I really need it right now, but man, the Fox Factory Race Series 3.0 on the Tundra is amazing. So if I were to change out this truck, that's probably the only thing I would change it to. I actually asked you guys on Instagram yesterday, I said, what do you want to see the next evolution of this truck to be? And a few people said portals and 40s, which would be sick. And I would do it, but I think I would have to partner with someone to do that because they are violently expensive, like a good portion of the truck cost. Guess that's it, brother.
Guess that's it. Going double portals?
Yeah, portals. Portals and 40s.
Portal time. Portals and 42s.
Well, happy birthday again.
Thanks, Doug.
We'll see you, I don't know when. We gotta do this again more.
Next week, same time?
Alright.
Different place?
Yep.
Alright,
Sounds
see you guys there.
Later. Mike's video is definitely out way before whenever this one was posted, so if you want to check his out, you can find him on YouTube. Last Line of Defense, obviously. And that's all that I got for now, so stay tuned for more updates on the Tacoma. We got a lot more adventures planned this summer, and this weather is beautiful. I'm stoked for it. If you're new here, consider clicking subscribe. I make new videos every single week. As always, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one.